What's up, YouTube? How is everyone doing? It is April the 7th, 2019 of the weekly Lawn and Garden Show. I want to give a big personal thank you to each and every one of you that tune in. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Whoa! I got sound going in the background everywhere. Everyone I gotta get this muted. Oh, there we go. Okay. I had sound on sound on sound on sound there, multiple windows. So let me get the window I'm gonna be using for the live stream, and we'll get it done. All right, everybody. So, like I said, this is the weekly Lawn and Garden Show for it. What's up, everybody, over in the live chat? For those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, the way this works, it is an open format, meaning you ask questions, I attempt to provide answers. My background is turf grass management, so I tend to stay on that topic. However, I'm a little bit versed in perennials and herbaceous plants, so I can talk a little bit about some flowers. The deeper we get into that, the more lost I will get in the world. So, just know I do not know everything, and I do make mistakes, and I'm bound to make them on this live stream from time to time. So, in the event I do, I apologize in advance. And if I don't know the answer, I'm more than willing to refer you to many of the elite professionals that I also have in the live chat. So, now that we got housekeeping out of the way, real quick, we are going to jump into the segment of the show known as the Roll Call. All right, let me jump over here to the chat real quick and say a big what's up to the people that were early in here. Terry Finch and Colonel Corn. I think Colonel went ahead and declared he was first. Was he first? I don't know. May have been, may not have been, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a tie to he and Terry right now. So, big what's up to Terry Finch with his Centipede Lawn and Colonel Corn with his beautiful Mid-Iron Bermuda down in Georgia. Mr. Gibby over in South Carolina, how are you, good sir? Everybody go show Chris Gibson some love on his channel. He wants to get to 1,000 subscribers so he can live stream from his mobile device due to YouTube's rules. Ryan Norris here. Hey, Ryan. Richard Nettles, how are you? OSU Turf Man. This is a real elite turf professional and not one that plays one on the internet like I do. Trent Burns, how are you, good sir? Slanging them pharmaceuticals down there. And I guess you're not in Oxford anymore, but I'm going to act like you're still in Oxford. Down there in Ole Miss slanging pharmaceuticals. That did not sound good. I'm sorry. Steve Williams, how are you, good sir? Matt Anderson, we were talking about smashing that like button. You put your mouse over it and then you bang on your mouse, man. Just whoop, whoop, bang on it. Real Low Dad, everybody go show Real Low Dad some love. He said goodbye to his McLean reel mower. And I think he deserves a moment of silence and respect and remembrance for the McLean. All right, we got that out of the way. Don't tread on Miney. How are you, good sir? Glad you're here. Schaefer Lawn Care and Property Maintenance. What is going on? Matty Ice in the house. The Lawn Care Nut. Big Al. Big Al's up there throwing. Yeah, boxing. I hear him. I hear you. I see you, Alan. I see you. Sun 99 in the house. Brett's Grasscapades. Where's my hat? I don't have a hat on. But you know what? I got one right here next to me, and I will throw this one on because this right here is one of the good ones. It's for my buddy Pete Denny over there. I got a little GCI turf hat sitting right here next to me, so I'll wear this bad boy tonight. I don't always not wear hats, but when I'm wearing this hat, how about them apples? I am clean and refreshed. I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a big day. You know, it was my daughter's birthday this weekend, so. We went down to my brother's and had a good time, and yeah, it was good stuff. So now we're back here. Chris Robbins, glad you are here. Teresa Pinkerton, where is your cat? How has she been? My cat is here and is doing lovely. Jay Wyrick, what are you doing, sir? Glad to see you here. Marco Guerrero, what's going on, man? The 411 on CX, he said, I don't know. Brian Watson from Hotlanta. Woo! What's going on out there, buddy? How are you, good sir? Yes, Ryan, you and Matt are not allowed to not have a hat. Okay, it's back on. Brent Sherrod is here. Brent, hadn't seen you since Long College, buddy. How are you, good sir? Mark Taylor, how are you? From Jersey. Up there in Jersey. Getting it done. That's what I'm talking about. No plaid shirt and no hat. It was out there. Johnny Fescue, how are you, good sir? Glad you're here. Eric Baum Waddell. J Pink. For those of you who don't know my buddy J Pink, let me tell you a little bit about him. My buddy J Pink and his wife T Pink own a very special place, and it is known as ThatOneCupcakePlace.com. They're out of Hiawatha, Iowa. Hiawatha, Iowa. But let me tell you, what they do out there is something special. Everybody, go show them some love. They are the most amazing people, and I truly, truly mean that. And I got to say, everybody from the YouTube community has just been so amazing, has been amazing in helping us with Carbon X at our plant. It's been amazing with just support and loaning an ear when I need someone to talk to. I mean, I just can't stress enough how much I love this community. It means the world to me, and I'm glad to be a part of it. All right, all right, all right. Again, like I said, my background is turfgrass management. I like to make this an open format, meaning you ask questions in the chat room and I will answer them. I know I had a couple come in over email, so we might get around to those too, depending on the flow of the chat. So in the background here, I'm going to open up my email, thegrassfactor@gmail.com. And while we're talking about that, real quick, for those of you that don't know, I have listed my social sites and contacts over here on the side of the screen. You can find me on the Discord, which is like a running chat at thelawndiscord.com. Thank you, J Pink, for setting that up. You can contact me by email at thegrassfactor@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at thegrassfactor, and you can also find me lurking in the depths, in the darkness over on the Lawn Forum at thelawnforum.com. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. That's what tells me people are still interested in what I'm doing on YouTube. Even though it hops around and most of the time my intros to my videos are entirely too long, I have revisited that, thank you to some inspiration from Ryan Knorr, to try and make them a little easier to watch. So big thank you to Ryan Knorr for giving me a little inspiration on that one, if you know what I'm saying. Is that what's left of the shed in the background? Those are actually compost piles there, Real Dad. Those are compost piles. I can go back to the fertilizer piles, but we were talking about windrowing the other day in the Discord, so I thought I would throw up some actual legitimate windrows. Let's see here. Let's hop on over here. Which would you prefer? Oh, let's talk quack grass. Lots of it. Lots of it in my Bermuda grass. Trent, I don't have a surefire answer for you other than Roundup, buddy. I think that is going to be your only way to go. And you can run it safely on Bermuda grass. Now, understand, you are going to ding it, but you're probably not going to kill it at 16 ounces to the acre. It may be worth a shot going after it with an application like that, seeing what kind of control you get on it. So that would be where I start. 16 ounces to the acre, glyphosate, 41%. Apply it accurately, of course, and see what kind of control you get, because there's not really any selective controls out there. Tracker24 asks, which would you prefer as a pre-emergent, granular or liquid? I worked grounds at a high school, and I finally convinced higher-ups to start putting pre-emergents down, like in years past when money were here. Okay, this is super easy for me, Tracker24, liquid. I always prefer liquid, and the reason being is that there's no questions asked about coverage. Where you apply it, you have material down. When you apply granular, many things come into the topic of conversation there. So we're talking about prill distribution, we're talking about prill size, we're talking about rate of application. All of those will have an effect over the overall efficacy of the herbicide. Studies show the difference in efficacy between liquid and granular is relatively insignificant, but in terms of confidence, I always have the highest confidence when I run a liquid versus a granular. Again, it's psychosomatic for me. You can go back through my older videos and see where I actually ran a round of granular pre-emergent and was having a stroke for no real reason other than the fact I'm weird. And when push came to shove and we got into the growing season, I did not have crabgrass issues. So just know a lot of that is just psychosomatic. Chris Morton, what's going on? The grass is going ham. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The big number 3 for the little girl. That's right. My daughter turned 3. Man, what an event it was. What's up, William Poole? My brother from M-Town. That's what I'm talking about. Just put my lawn care nut sticker on my mower today. It looks glorious. I bet it does. I bet it gave it extra horsepower, too. I bet it doubled your horsepower. As Pete would say, get your dirt right. That's what I'm talking about on my green screen here. We got compost piles going, baby. When are you going to do a live stream with the LCN? That's right. Everybody hop over and send Alan Haynes some messages and ask him we can do a live stream together. Everybody get into his little private feed there and say, hey, when are we going to be doing a live stream with the Grass Factor? When are we doing a live stream with the Grass Factor? Let's have some fun with it. Y'all go pester him until he wants to do it. I'm sorry, Alan. Let's see. I am late because of Jake the Lawn Kid. That is a valid reason, John Falcon. That is a valid reason. Chris Morton, Cookeville, Tennessee. Man, buddy, not only did you get the Carbon X down, and you're just up the road in Cookeville, Tennessee. I was excited because you got one of the absolute first shipments that came out went to you, and I was really happy about that. Gotta hold it down for my Tennessee brothers. You know what I'm saying. Let's see here. What up, Mike Morris? How are you? Minnesota in the house without a whole lot of snow going down. Lawn is just waking up. I bet, buddy. I bet. I've been using corn gluten for weed control on my Bermuda. Seems to be working well. I did find crabgrass sprouting thing about removing and making my warm and cool turf season border there. I did find crabgrass sprouting, thinking about removing and making my warm and cool season border there. Yeah, that may work. If you're having good success with corn gluten, keep at it, man. I haven't personally, and the fact that you are, that is good. That's encouraging. Keep at it. Let's see here. You still didn't fix the Facebook issue. I'm still dealing with Facebook. If anybody has any inside knowledge into Facebook, please help me. I don't know how to handle this. It got to the point where I actually sent, the screen froze. I sent a copy of the front and back of my driver's license to Facebook, and they still have not done anything with it. And it is so frustrating. So if anybody has any information on how to handle that, please let me know, because I don't know what to do at this point. And I've tried to redo it, and they said, you've already submitted it, now you must wait. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. If a weed seed germinates, then hits the pre-em barrier that was put out, is that weed seed dead forever, or could it regerminate a year later? So Douglas Blacksil, the way the pre-emergent actually works is that it doesn't inhibit germination, so it's not like it times out the germination and that it has a chance to regerminate. The weed actually germinates, and then it inhibits cell division in the root tip. So that root can never fully develop to be able to send things to the leaf tissue to keep it alive. Thus, the plant ultimately fails, and as such, the seed ultimately fails because it actually already germinates. It expended all that energy to produce that root to tack down, and then cell division was blocked. The plant failed. The seed failed. So no, it could not regerminate a year later. Okay, real question. Rain within 15 hours after MSM app to kill rye. Any loss of efficacy? After 15 hours? No, I would not be worried about that at all, Real Dad. Note, MSM is extremely slow. You're looking at 3 to 6 weeks for full control. Hey Matt, can I spray tenacity and 3-way amine together as well as put down new seeding turf type tall fescue? I would not put down 3-way amine with your tenacity if you're going to be seeding. There is a reseed interval on 3-way amine, and it's somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. Read that label for a reseed interval. But no, you can tenacity, but you cannot 3-way amine. How do you get Empire Zoysia to spread faster? I'm plugging in May. Brian, you have to keep that plant in a state of fighting senescence. So anything you can do to mitigate stress. And because they are plugs, I mean, that first year, I would be aggressive with the fertilizer. Treat for your soil test and go after it very aggressively. Spoon feed frequently. Mow, 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 mow. And in case you missed that, keep mowing, keep mowing, keep mowing. You should be mowing every other day, whether you're cutting a bunch off or not. And if you really want it to spread, you need to be doing it with a real mower. John Teague, I'm not concerned. Lawn Tips, what is up? Over from down under where the toilet bowl swirled the opposite direction. I once heard, which turned out to not be true. What are you doing, brother? The Lawn Stripes, how do you not smell that pile behind you? That's a good one. For Bermuda Control, is Pylex with Acclaim better than Pylex with Fungicide? I don't know if there would be a difference between the two of those two products, but they're both going to be extremely effective. So the thing is that Acclaim and Fungicide are from the same mode of action. So what is that? Fluazepop and Phenoxaprop. They're both from the same family of herbicides, just like Pylex and Tenacity are. So combining, you're running two modes of actions there. That's always going to be greater than running a single mode of action. So if you really wanted to kick that into overdrive, you would run Pylex, Acclaim, or Fungicide with triclopyr ester. That would be your biggest knockdown control product you could possibly run. Chris Morton says, do I always use a non-ionic surfactant when using 4-speed, even if I'm mixing with Greene County products? Yes, if you're looking to maximize your efficacy, you would want to run a NIS with your 4-speed, even though you are mixing with Greene County products. Alu, what's up, sir? Hey, man, thank you, sir. And I believe I got your soil test in the email somewhere, and I'll be getting you an answer back to that. Real Low Dad, your voice is so draining. What's up, Steve Wright? Glad to see your name here. I'm trying to get through these questions as fast as I can to answer them in a timely fashion, but looks like they are on fire today. That's what I'm talking about. I am here. Hey, what are you doing, Ray? I'm glad you made it. Hey, great. Ray, if you want to call in, I can throw you on the live stream. Just shoot me a message on the Discord, and I will let you know. Look at that. Oh, look. Ray says he wants to jump in. Hang on real quick, Ray, and I will get you on this bad boy. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. This is how we get it done. Well, if I knew how to computer better than I do, it wouldn't be so difficult. All right, we're here. All right, we're here. All right, all right, all right. Okay, let's see. Well, let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, Ray, I can't do it right now because I'm already connected through here. Hang on, bear with me, Ray, and I may be able to figure this out. Give me just a minute. Let's see. Customer has flower beds full of bulbs that I want to kill off. Any suggestions? We filled up a 5-gallon bucket last year from redefining the bed's edge. Whoo! You're probably going to have to use some triclopyr and glyphosate to get that. Hang on. The video is going to go down. It will be back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, here we go. Ray, are you there?
I think I am.
Okay, let's see here. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to move this over to this screen, and then I'm going to change my scene. Oh. Let's do this. We got... Whoa!
Yep.
Ray, are you there?
Does that go?
All right. All right. Let's see what is going on here. Let me see what's going on the YouTube. Can everybody hear us on the YouTube? Are we good over here? It looks like it's coming in.
Yep.
All right, everybody. This is going to be interesting. Let me turn this up so I can hear you speak, Ray. And I may have to throw on some headphones so that way it does not broadcast over my microphone. All right. Okay. Ray, give me a little test sound here.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
I got you loud and clear.
All right.
I'm going to move this over here. And then bring you up right there. All right.
We're on?
Yes, we are on. And it looks like everything is working correctly. Okay. All right, so we're going to continue down here. Look at this, man. The chat is on fire tonight. I apologize. I am going to have to skip over some of these questions just because so many of them are coming in so fast. I see you got to answer some questions there, Ray. So let's see here. Where are we going to pick up? My soil test showed a pH of 4.8 in northwestern Kentucky with turf-type tall fescue. I put out 53 pounds of lime per 1,000 square feet today. Is this a good start for correction? What you got to say about that, Ray?
Yeah. That's probably a good start on it. I'd probably tell you that you might need to do it again next year.
Yeah. I mean, that would be probably closer, what, 100 pounds per 1,000 or something to get that to within a normal range?
Yeah, that would probably be about that much.
All right, let's see here. Matt, would you apply fungicide at preventative or curative rate to prevent snow mold under snow? That's funny. You almost got me there, John. Snow mold. Are you privy to any of the preventive methods? I'm not, personally. I know there was research done this year over a variety of fungicides that they use for snow mold. Again, out of my wheelhouse, I don't have to deal with it. I don't deal with snow. So I don't really have a whole lot of input for you there. You got any input on that, Ray? Snow mold?
Snow mold is something that I'm just not that familiar with. I mean, I've never seen it personally.
Yeah, I've only seen it once or twice before in my life, so really, I got nothing for you, John. I would reach out to OSU Turf Man. I would say he definitely knows a fair amount about it. Hey, Matt, just applied my liquid prodiamine 3-month app in Chicago. I did it this morning before what turned out to be some hard rain shortly after. Any worry of washout? Let's see, you did it this morning, and then you got a hard rain after. I will say this. I've had some pretty hard rains come down after applications of prodiamine with no real obvious ill effect. Have you ever had that happen, Ray?
Nope. In fact, usually I water like heck after applying prodiamine. Usually.
It's getting it into the soil as quickly as possible. Hey, so this is what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to go right down. I'm sorry, everybody. We're going right down to the bottom of this live stream. So, Ray, you don't know this, but I'm actually throwing you on the spot. Any of these super chats that come in tonight are all going to Ray. And I'm going to front all the money for the super chat to him. So I highly recommend everyone in the YouTube viewership community, if Ray has helped you out in any form or fashion, please, if you can, give something in that super chat. This is going to be a gift to Ray because he's been extremely selfless to each and every one of us. I've said it before in a live stream, and I will say it again. He's been one of my biggest inspirations in the industry to take my knowledge to the next level. And there's nothing like having somebody on the other end to make you feel like you know nothing, which is actually a very motivating thing for someone like me. And so, you know, when I'm, you know, entering the industry and I realize how little I knew, you know, and being able to stalk Ray online for as long as I had, it just made perfect sense that that was going to be the person that would be my mentor as I go through all this. So, for those of you that can, I ask, please give a little in the super chat so we can give that to Ray as a big thank you for the for everything he's done for the industry.
Okay, I hope everybody can hear me. I think I fiddled with something on my end.
I got you now.
Okay, I think I fixed it.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, so you should be good to go. And here we go, Ray. They're coming in. They're coming in. And Ray, at the end of this show, I will shoot this over to you, and we will be very, very proud to pass this on to you. Ray, can you full screen your Skype window?
Let's go there.
There we go. There we go. All right. So we're gonna hop down here a little bit in the chat, and here we go. I applied Fungicide 11 herbicide. I think that's just supposed to be Fungicide 2. 0.5 to 1,000 square feet in fescue. Will it knock out the Poa annua?
0.5.
That's
That's a lot.
a lot.
I hope you have grass after this.
That is a lot. And Pylex does not knock out Poa annua, so you don't have to worry about using Pylex in fescue to knock out Poa. And I'm pretty certain Fungicide is not labeled for Poa either. I may be wrong. Is Fungicide labeled for Poa?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So, unfortunately, yeah, that's probably not going to help you out. And a 1/2 ounce per 1,000 is that's a pretty significant amount of Fungicide there. Let's see. Ray can make a killing shipping that bread from Hawaii. I throw down $100 for another baguette.
It's coming.
You hear that? It's coming. They're saying they need more sound from you, Ray. Hang on one second. That actually may be my fault on my end. Let me see here. All right, Ray, give us some test audio there.
Testing.
Testing.
All right, for those of you in the live stream, let me know, can you hear Ray? I'm not going too loud. All right, we're gonna keep on moving down here, man. Woo! Look at this. This is happening. This is what I like to see. My goodness. Thank you, Real O Dad. Non-Mastered Productions, Terry Finch, Lambert 1702, Toby Howard, Schaefer Lawn and Property Maintenance. Look, everybody's shouting out Green Dot. Matt, is there a type of tree leaf I should avoid mulching in my lawn? Mainly oak tree leaves. Ray should Eric Von Waddell worry about mulching oak tree leaves in his lawn?
No, oak trees aren't bad. I think I'd watch out for walnut leaves. But other than that, you know, oak leaves are fine.
All right. Let's see here. Ray, you may have to bust up your Skype screen again.
There we go.
Technical difficulties. Let's see. What's the best way to speed up Bermuda coverage? I've applied all my next products. Low doses of fertilizer out of a spoon.
Yep. Spoon feed it.
Spoon feed it and mow it. That is a pretty easy thing. Mow, 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 mow. Let's see. I cut my fescue at 4 inches, but in certain areas it lays over and looks nappy. Is this due to unevenness of my yard in these areas? If it is laying over, then you may also be deficient in one of your nutrients where it doesn't have the vigor to stand up. This also could be a genetic thing. I have seen certain types of fescue that lack seedling vigor. And sometimes you will have this seemingly just laid over look to it. Have you ever seen any of that, Ray? I know you don't have much experience with cool season grass, but
actually I've seen
just
that
refuses
happen
to stand up.
in, like, I think St. Augustine a little bit, and Bermuda.
Interesting.
And that's mostly related to potassium and silica.
Potassium and silica. Silica is one of those not particularly well-known things that exists out there that actually can be applied foliarly, I believe. Isn't that right?
Yes, it can, but then watch out, because if you overdo the silica, you will have grass that's going to be extremely hard to mow.
Whew.
Careful.
I guess it's going to give it that much rigidity in the leaf blade.
I think it'll turn it more like zoysia if you're not careful. Turn it more like.
Once you use glyphosate to kill goosegrass, how do you get Bermuda to run back into the bare spots? How do you fix the bare spots? Humic acid, tons of water to flush out the bare spot.
Sand. You sand top dress after you do something like that.
Let's see here. How much rain is too much rain after a granular fertilizer app?
I'd probably say if it's flooding and you get massive amounts of runoff, I think that's too much rain.
That's a good point, yeah. If it's running all down the road just as soon as it is put down, then that is not usually a good sign. Let's see here. Went too far. Feedback now. Okay. Let me turn it down a little bit. Lots of noise. Oh, the echo gives it the effect. Holy back feedback, man. We on the freeway. Okay. We're good now. Sound is good. Masood Dogan, big thank you. Alright, sound is good. Alright, I applied liquid prodiamine in Chicago this morning because rain was coming. However, rain was pretty heavy throughout the day. Any concerns? Nope, I think we talked about that 3 or 4 times. No. Let's see. Carbon X for DIY. Apologize in advance if answered 4,543 times already. Just debating on whether I should pick up some RGS now, along with my already cousin of Carbon X, or wait it out for the FERT. I can't really answer that. I mean, that's totally up to you. If you're looking for, you know, to use like a supplemental humic and kelp pack, then yeah, you pick up the RGS. But if you're not looking to supplement in between what the fertilizer is going to apply, then no real need to do that. Okay, here, will dethatch help break down dead St. Augustine runners? And Ray, are you familiar with what's in dethatch?
Actually, I am, and dethatch can help, but you got to ask yourself, why do you even have the dead St. Augustine runners? What did you do?
That's a good point.
What did you do? Because dead St. Augustine runners tells me that something bad happened to the grass at some point in time during the growing season.
So that's just a Band-Aid and a toolbox of what needs to really happen to figure out why you've got dead St. Augustine runners. When should you plant Bermuda in transition zone for renovation? When your soil temperatures are eking something like 70 degrees, which would be like mid part of May or so, I would say that would be a good time for it. The warmer outside, typically the better you are off in the transition zone. I would not attempt anything after July. Why walnut tree leaves? I crush my neighbor's walnuts to use as a pre-emergent for my warm season lawn. Ray, have you ever heard anybody crushing walnuts to use as a pre-emergent on warm season?
I've never heard of it, but I would probably explore that. I don't know why the chemical companies are not on this too, because the what's that stuff called in the walnut? Juglone or something?
Juglone.
Yeah, that seems to be a pretty toxic pre-emergent, you know, or inhibitor of plant growth.
And I would say why walnut tree leaves is that Juglone is pretty non-selective as far as what it does inhibit. So you could probably get away with it for Bermuda grass, but I don't know about other types of grasses that would be super tolerant of Juglone. My question is, what is the best fungicide for gray leaf spot in St. Augustine grass in central Texas? I have issues with it every year in my backyard. Want to minimize the damage.
I probably see, you know, one, cut down on your nitrogen, and I'd probably try something like, you know, Heritage.
Heritage is a good one.
I
always did, of course, you know, your, you know, my go-to, which is the roll my own headway, of course.
Actually, my best results on gray leaf spot on St. Augustine have either been from something called Lexicon or else Exteris, but then those are rather pricey.
What are the active ingredients in those?
Lexicon is, I think, perchlorostrobin and penthylpyride or something like that. It's one of those SDHI, I forgot what frat group that's from. But anyway, that's one of them. And then, of course, there's Exteris, which is fluopyram plus trifloxystrobin.
Which is, trifloxystrobin is one of the main ones in...
Compass,
that's right.
Or
that's right.
It's also co-mixed with tridimethon in Armada.
That's right. Armada has it too. You know, it's interesting that trifloxy molecule being so potent, because even as the sulfonylurea, you know, trifloxysulfuron in Monument is just such a high-performing herbicide. And then, you know, you take that same molecule and apply it towards a strobilurin, trifloxystrobin, and it's a very powerful systemic strobilurin fungicide as well.
That's because the fluorine atom somehow inhibits metabolism and breakdown of the rest of the molecule within the disease.
Gotcha. And that is why we have Ray on the show, everybody. Let's see. Any thoughts on Hydrotane? Is it worth the money? What are your thoughts on Hydrotane, Ray?
No. It's to me, it's kind of not worth it.
You know, in my opinion, I'll give you a differing opinion there, is that you have to ask yourself, would it be beneficial to you? If you're doing a renovation, is it worth that added cost? If you are leaving town after you just did a renovation, is it worth that added cost? Are you using it to supplement what you're not going to be able to do because of absence? And ask yourself, is that affordable for you? So I don't think there's just a simple answer to that. I mean, it's you put it into a spreadsheet and do a cost-based analysis over whether or not it's worth it for you. Can I apply CX when I seed as a starter fertilizer? You could. It's just you don't need to. That's a lot of nitrogen, and you don't just need to slam a lot of nitrogen while you're seeding. A little bit is good. That's why you see things like starter fertilizers in an 18-24-12. It's, you know, a little more P than N there, because during seed establishment would be the biggest time that the P is going to be utilized. What's the best tank mix with carfentrazone? Wow.
What are you going after? What are you going after?
Yeah. I mean, there's a million ways to answer that. It totally depends on your turf type, what you're trying to kill, where you're located, lots and lots of stuff. Ray, I just bought a dethatcher scarifier 30 minutes ago. When should I use it on my 0.25-inch Bermuda, quarter-inch Bermuda?
Probably as soon as you get warm enough for active growth.
How about them apples, AV guy? And that is really funny you just bought a dethatcher scarifier, because you have so many reel mowers. I am completely organic in my lawn for almost 2 years. I have very high phosphorus levels and a high pH of 7.5. What should I do, if anything, to lower pH?
Well, start getting the sulfur down, and you'd better start collecting clippings.
Yep, that's going to be your fastest way to lower your phosphorus level. And so the other thing, too, is stop applying it. So if you're applying organic fertilizers that have a decent phosphorus load, quit. I'm glad you're completely organic. That's cool. That's great. But in terms of correcting your high pH, you know, organic fertilizers may provide a little bit of a balancing act there, but not much. So, you know, that may be something where you begin to play with elemental sulfur. I don't know if you can get that as a mined material, which will give you organic certification. I don't know. I don't know enough about organics. Let's see. I ran 0.113 ounces per 1,000 square feet in a 4-gallon sprayer using GCI nozzle calibrated for 4 gallons per 7,500 square feet. Was this too hot? I also see the label says 0.45 ounces per 4 gallons. I'm lost. Let's see. So 0.113 per 1,000 square feet. I think you're talking about the high rate of Celsius. Oh, yeah. You followed it up right there. Yeah, you were fine. No, that's not too hot. 0.113 is the low rate. Isn't that right, Ray?
113 per 1,000, that's actually at the annual maximum, or close to the annual maximum.
So is that a double rate?
That's kind of a hot application, actually. That's like annual maximum for Celsius.
Okay. Okay. Yes, that is hot. That's probably going to stunt the fire out of your Bermuda grass. I doubt you'll kill it at that rate. I've done some big boo-boo accidents on Bermuda grass with Celsius before, and it's very forgiving. I will say that. Look at this. Hey, right, Teresa. Black walnut is rough on Kentucky bluegrass. Had a black walnut tree in my old lawn, and it was bad. It got the husk around the shells, fell, rotted into the ground. It would blow holes in my yard. There you go. Let's see. What will Carbon X do to pH? Probably over time, it is going to lower your pH, because any nitrogenous fertilizer has the tendency to do that, except potassium nitrate?
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. Ray, who has the real super juice?
I do. Not the doc guy.
Ray, what would you consider super juice?
I can't say it on air.
If you do want to learn about the real super juice, I apologize, my camera's frozen, it'll come back. If you do want to learn about the real super juice real quick, I will show you. You can join us at thelawndiscord.com. Thelawndiscord.com. Hop over there And you'll get to see Ray talk about things like his super juice. All right, let's jump back into the chat here. What's the best way to get rid of goosegrass in Bermuda?
Well,
I've got an answer for this.
you got Revolver, and you got my personal favorite, which would be Syncor and Tenacity.
Syncor, Tenacity, and Pilex.
Or Pilex and Tenacity. In other states, other than Hawaii, you can use Simazine instead with your Tenacity or Pilex.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
There's actually a special label for Florida calling for Tenacity, Simazine, and Natolachlor or Pennant Magnum as a tank mix for goosegrass.
Very interesting. I know I have had good luck on goosegrass with Pilex in Bermuda at rates as low as ½ ounce per acre with a methylated seed oil or a crop oil concentrate organosilicone like Helena's. I'm drawing a blank. Dynamic. Had good luck with that. Let's see. Soil test showed iron at 240 parts per million. Should be at 9 to 40 parts per million. How do I safely bring that down?
Don't worry about
That's a
it.
good question.
Don't worry about
it. Does splitting the spring app of prodiamine have any reduction to the first round's efficacy since it's a lower rate? Or does the rate only affect how many months it will last? That's a good question, too.
Actually, splitting the application allows you to apply a lot more product without causing root pruning. That's my experience with split apps.
Yeah, and exactly like the latter half of your question there, it affects how many months it will last more so than it does just overall efficacy. Now, there's a little bit of room in there because sometimes, certain weeds are controlled at a higher rate. But once you meet that threshold, and if you meet that threshold on your first application, then from there, you're just gravy trained with any secondary application after that. Gray leaf spot control efficacy ratings. I do not know where any are off the top of my head, OSU Turfman. Do you, Ray?
Well, I just know what works on, gray leaf spot as I see it, which is typically on newly laid sod and somebody's watering too much.
Colby Burcham wants to know, what is the best surfactant for longevity of insecticide on plant tissue? Tossed RP? Tempo?
Okay. Those two products are actually alkaline sensitive, so my go-tos for that is actually LI700 or something similar.
So an acidifying surfactant that would discourage the speed of breakdown of that material.
Right, because Telstar bifenthrin is actually very alkaline sensitive.
Yep. Let me ask, do you know anything about acelepryn and pH?
That is rather pH stable across a wide range, and I guess that's kind of why I can't have it here in Hawaii.
Yeah, that was one I started digging into, and I saw trials run at water with pH of 8, and at a 6 and 7 day interval, they were losing about 23% efficacy on it, which compared to something like some other herbicides that when they meet in alkaline solution, it may reduce efficacy down to like a moment, down to hours. So the fact that you're able to get days out of it rather than hours is pretty strong. Let's see here. We're having some severe weather down here in NOLA. It's headed east. Yes, it is. I was looking at that earlier. Question for Green Doc. I took on a project yard, my brother-in-law's, and he has a salad bar of weeds. This is going to be cool season grass. Which four-way would you go after it with first, speed zone or surge, using XLR8 afterward?
I do the speed zone, and I'd actually throw in the accelerate right then and there as well.
Yep, I like that. Or I would say I would definitely not recommend surge. Surge is ultra low rate 2,4-D and ultra low rate sulfentrazone. So you're not going to get enough kick out of that.
Yeah, that's actually meant for application to St. Augustine in hot weather. That was the purpose of the creation of surge.
I've never been impressed with it, and when I remember my distributor telling me it existed for the control at Nutsedge, and it started a very angry fight that I probably should not have. I should have just walked away instead of had that argument, but I couldn't control myself at that point. I had to argue it. But yeah, the other thing too would be like something like 4-Speed XT combined also with XLR8. I think that would also be a good one as well. Let's see. Thanks for telling me to research that, but any additional recommendations on gray leaf spot? Would some clearish 3336 help much, or should I avoid altogether for my St. Augustine?
I wouldn't use 3336 for it because the amount you're allowed to use is not that effective. 3336 is a dollar spot fungicide and nothing else.
Yeah, as far as I would say probably the cheapest thing you're going to be able to put on gray leaf spot right now is azoxystrobin. And that's really about the only thing I have. Why not Realmo goosegrass out of Bermuda, says Gardener Earth Cat.
Because it doesn't work. I can show you goosegrass that's been real mowed every week or twice a week on the golf course, and it's about 3 feet in diameter right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is one of the ones you can't real mow out. I wish you could, but you can't. Any experience with fusillade and quackgrass?
Kills it.
It does kill it.
Kills it.
All right. I have not attempted fusillade on quackgrass, but if there is one to try, that would be one to try. After applying Lesco 1907, can I put Milorganite down? Please respond.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess if you have reservations about making that application, I would rather hear what your reservations are than just simply wondering if you can do that. Yeah, you can. I mean, there's no issue with that at all. Doc didn't come out to see us at the Real Mower demo, and he lives closer than I do, and he tried getting Pete. What? Oh, he's talking about how to with Doc. When you said Doc, I thought Green Doc. I was like, what? Green Doc lives in Hawaii. What are you talking about? Is it worth the cost to blanket spray with tenacity for Poa annua before it seeds?
I guess.
I mean, yeah, and again, that comes down to what your preference is. I mean, in my opinion, from a professional perspective, yeah, I have to before it seeds, or I'm going to lose my job. So, ultimately, that really comes down to you and your decision. Is it worth the cost? I can't answer, is it worth the cost, but it depends on how bad you don't want POA to spread in your lawn. Will there be a Carbon X with a Ray Super Juice on it? That's what we need to talk about, Ray, right there. That's exactly what we need to talk about. We'll do that after the show. Talk to me about azaleas. What should I use as fertilizer and when? It's a great topic.
Okay, here's what you want on azaleas. Moderate nitrogen, low phosphorus, moderate to high potassium, and it has to be acidifying, and make sure that there is no potassium chlorate or muriate of potash in it. That's my general recommendation.
How about that? That's pretty easy. Trent, there are probably some of those super rainbows. I used to run the homogenized super rainbow on azaleas in Augusta, Georgia, and everybody was a nut about their azaleas. And so That was usually what I ran, and I want to say it was like a 10-5-30, something like that, and or 10-5-25, and that was my azalea fert with a whole host of micronutrients in it as well. Another question for Green Doc here. I picked up that 10-pound bag of citric acid since I have a pH of 8.3. My grass is barely even mowable yet, but turning green. Is it too early to apply 1 pound per 1,000?
Nope. Start now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Get it down. Get that reaction taking place. Matt, I have a friend in Utah who wants a nice concrete front yard. What is the ideal ratio of sand to add to clay to be able to get the clay to become concrete? Also, best method to incorporate. I think you would have to find Portland cement to make that become concrete. Just combining those two would not be enough. I know that was a joke question, but I'll entertain it. How will Carbon X move my pH? Over time, it will move it down because urea and ammonium sulfate over time have the potential to become acidifying. Let's see. So split app pre, should first app be heavier or does it matter?
Actually, I prefer it to be half of the rate that you want to apply for the year, applied once, and then you apply the other half 45 days later. You don't front load.
Yep, I would agree. This is a $1 million comment, supposedly, from Steve Willie, my buddy up in even further East Tennessee than I am. He says, discuss anaerobic soils and how to correct.
Okay, if you're anaerobic, one, stop applying organic matter. Number two, you might consider usage of hydrogen peroxide.
Why would we use hydrogen peroxide in that situation?
Because the hydrogen peroxide brings oxygen into that anaerobic environment.
Yep. Do you have any recommendations as far as dilution in a tank mix to make that application?
I'd probably say, about no more than 4 to 8 ounces of 35% peroxide per 1,000 square foot. And you need
How
a lot
many
of
ounces
water.
was that? 48?
Yeah, you need a lot of water because this is almost like applying sulfuric acid, actually.
Yep. So it's, you have to calculate your risk there in that and make sure you have complete control over all the variables in that application, especially your water. Yep. Let's see here. After applying Lesco, can I now put down Milorganite? We already answered that. Okay. PS804, okay to run with tall stars. Shouldn't be any ornamental phytotoxicity.
Nope, no problems. I put LI700 on my ornamentals all the time. No problems.
Let's see here. What's best fall pre-emergent for warm season turf, North Carolina? Spectacle Flow?
Yep, I like Spectacle Flow. Not in spring or summer, though. Do not.
Let's see here. Hey, Matt, is it too soon to run low rate of Celsius on St. Augustine that's coming out of dormancy in South Carolina? Have you heard much about Avenue South? Yes, there it is. I would not be applying Celsius on St. Augustine in transition. Wait till it greens up. And Avenue South is broadleaf herbicide with a pinoxalam kicker, I believe, is the kicker in that. And so it would be very good on St. Augustine. Just understand that there is going to be some, and there needs to be an acceptable understanding of acceptable damage that will take place when you apply it. And it'll be mostly discoloration more than just long stem damage. Do you have anything to add to that, Ray?
I actually don't care much for Avenue South because of how, it uses such a low rate of sulfentrazone and 2,4-D. My preference is, if I'm going to go there, is I apply actual 2,4-D with sulfentrazone and metsulfuron methyl. I essentially make my own tank mix.
Yeah. And here's one of those things too, is I ran the numbers on rolling your own Avenue South, and Panoxalam by trade name was called
Defender.
Defender?
Yes. I think it's Defender.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. No,
it was like
Sapphire.
Roxy.
Sapphire.
Sapphire. That's it.
Dow.
That's exactly it. Yep. Sapphire. And it was cheaper to run Avenue South than it was to roll your own exact Avenue South. But the suggestions that Ray made there as far as changing your tank mix would work out better in overall efficacy, and you would save money on your Avenue South. Post or Fusillade for animal ornamental bed grass control, mainly Bermuda and bushes.
I prefer Post.
Post is Sethoxidin.
Sethoxidin. Fusillade tends to be damaging to a lot of ornamentals. There's a long list of ornamentals that you cannot spray Fusillade on.
Let's see here. Hey, has Ray written any turfgrass management books?
No. No.
O.J. Simpson was the real juice. That is right. Let's see here. We're gonna keep coming down. I love Atromech on hedges. Any others I should check out?
Cutlass G. Cutlass G.
What is the active in Cutlass?
Fluoropyrimidol.
Okay. Any knowledge on sensation lilac bushes? All but one have died, and that one hasn't grown much going into year 3.
I have no idea on that one.
Me neither. No idea. And there's a whole host of things that could affect those, but I don't know much about growing lilac in general. Let's see. I imagine it's hard to get your hands on large quantities of hydrogen peroxide. I doubt it would be that hard.
Nope. If you are commercial, most industrial chemical suppliers sell it to you by the 55-gallon drum.
Let's see. What rate should I apply Fusillade in Bermuda, and will it kill the Bermuda like a glyphosate apple?
Whoa, this is in Bermuda. Then don't do Fusillade. Don't.
Would you run glyphosate?
Actually, I would actually try the Tenacity Simazine or Tenacity Sencor.
Oh, that's a good one. Sencor is going to be one of the ones that's big overlooked, and I don't have a ton of experience with it, Trent, so you won't hear me talk about it a lot because it's not in my knowledge arsenal there. So Tenacity and Sencor would be a great place to start. And Sencor is not super expensive either, so and it is very broad spectrum on Bermuda, so I would say that's a great one to have on hand. Let's see. OSU Turfman helping out in the chat too. Man, hey, Ray, that's what we need to do. We need to get OSU Turfman, you on the live stream, and I'll go sit in the corner and just watch y'all. Poet, fall pre-emergent as soon as temp drops below 70. Reapply spring at 55 degrees. Post-emergent, I use Certainty product.
Yep. Yep.
I would even say, getting your fall pre-emergent down as temperatures drop below 70 is too late in my experience. At least in the transition zone areas I've worked. I mean, like, towards that last week of August, it may still be 85, 90 degrees outside. Now, nighttime temperatures, as nighttime temperatures are dropping below 70, I could see that. And in the spring, usually I'm out before then, too. Matt, hydrogen peroxide. Not sending the $1 million for that answer. That is the answer, though. I don't know what you're looking for in that instance, Steve Willie, but that would be a great one. Let's see. Can carbon humic affect lime applications? I'm not sure about humic, but carbon in general can have a bit of a buffering effect. But as far as, like, will it affect your actual lime you apply? I'm not aware of that having an effect. Are you aware of that, Ray?
Actually, I can tell you that humic will sequester calcium.
Meaning, what would that do in terms of you make a calcium application and then a humic application?
Well, what it'll do is, my experience with such an application is that the humic somehow chelates the calcium and helps it get down into the soil a lot deeper. It's actually a good thing.
So, yeah, so if you look at products like the polycarboxylic acid on the, what is the name of that line product, Ray? I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Solucal?
Solucal. Yeah, and that they usually have like a calcium with humic acid that they claim is this polycarboxylic acid technology that causes for, but really it's a humic plus calcium combination. So that would make sense, I guess, and part of their claim to fame on what makes it more effective. There is a debate brewing. Is Milorganite totally eco-friendly, or would I have to watch it if I have pets?
No.
What do you have to say to that?
You're fine. You're fine. Although I know dogs like Milorganite, and I've heard interesting things happening.
You know, you would have to think, you know, I'm going to say the fact that, you know, heavy metals and pharmaceuticals existing in Milorganite is a totally real possibility. The concentrations that would have to be consumed to have a negative effect on something like to a pet, it would probably have to be eating bags of Milorganite, and certainly you would be keeping your dog from eating 60 pounds of Milorganite. And even then, I'm not sure if you would have a concentration high enough to cause any issue. We're talking about widespread acreage, you know, hundreds of thousands of acres contributing to problems versus, you know, 3,000 square feet. Also, fighting quackgrass will fusilate also kill off the turf grass in cool season lawns.
Not if you have tall fescue and you're real careful about how you're applying.
That's right. Know that it will ding tall fescue. The hotter it is outside, the harder it dings it. So just keep that in mind. If you see it, don't get discouraged, and understand that if you stay within your limits, it will recover. H2O2 is an all-around great tool. Controls insects as well. I was not aware of that. When will some Green Dot plus the Grass Factor t-shirts be available? We need, hey, Ray, we need to make you some t-shirts, some Green Dot t-shirts. That's what I'm talking about. Milo on azaleas, yes or no?
No. Too much phosphorus, not enough potassium.
Could you put it as a border around your azaleas to scent away the deers?
You probably could, although my favorite thing for deer involves peppercorns, garlic, and bay leaves, and bacon.
There you go. Bait them and then take them out. St. Augustine is creeping in through my lawn, trying to invade my Bermuda. Nearest house with St. Augustine is 2 doors away. How do I control it? 2,4-D?
Quinclorac?
Yeah, Quinclorac would be a great one. Monument would be another good one. I will say this, the lawnmower, I've had St. Augustine move into Bermuda lawns, and I've sprayed it with unholy amounts of 2,4-D and never caused any issue to St. Augustine. But let me tell you this, you go apply 2,4-D to a perfectly manicured St. Augustine lawn, and you'll cause all kinds of unholy damage to that St. Augustine lawn. I don't know why that is the fact, but that is the fact. Same thing with centipede that invades Bermuda grass. I have applied 6 pounds of N on centipede in Bermuda grass to no ill effect. I've put down 4 pounds of N on centipede on my own lawn and absolutely destroyed it. So it's just typically how it goes. Hey Matt, is there anything that is safe to run on St. Augustine during spring transition? In my opinion, a sensitive grass like that, I would not be applying anything during spring transition. What about you, Ray?
Actually, I like Speed Zone Southern during transitional times.
Is it the ester formulation you think is just easier on the turf grass altogether?
It's the fact that you're not applying any kind of sulfonylurea or growth regulating type products to the St. Augustine.
Interesting. Makes perfect sense. Planted hardy mums in the fall about a month before hard frost. Chances of them coming back this spring?
I don't know. You had the polar vortex, Gravy. Look out. I don't know. I don't know.
Considering tenacity and simazine or Syncor can be used in Bermuda, if you could accept damage. Does Pilex plus insert chemical also have a synergistic relationship for post control in Bermuda?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pilex is also, synergized by Syncor and simazine.
Yeah, and Pilex is same mode of action as tenacity. So topramazone versus mesotrione, very similar chemical structures. Bleachers, so you're going to have similar responses there. Let's see. I just started farming worms. Any information on worm castings as far as what it puts in the soil? I don't know, Eric. It's going to put all kinds of stuff into the soil. I mean, mostly it's going to be waste material, right? So it's going to be depositing organic matter into the soil, which can be mineralized further into NP and K. Do you have anything to add to that, Ray?
Not really, because with worm castings, it's a matter of garbage in, garbage out. I don't think it adds anything special, to the soil. Not really.
Okay, let's see here. If you get 3 people on the live stream, you might need to work in IT. All right, y'all, we are running to the end of the segment here. Real quick, before we go, one thing I wanted to say. Hang on one second. Here's my buddy Gravelback over here. This is John Pajak. We have some low-growing junipers that were damaged by heavy snow over winter. These landscape beds have a history of growing some grasses up through these bushes. Would flazophop be a good solution? These are going to be junipers.
Oh, junipers are among the plants that are severely damaged by flazophop. That's why I prefer Sizoxidum.
So which one? Sethoxidum?
Yeah, Sizoxidum. Yeah.
Yep. So Gravelback, John Pajak, you would want to be looking at Post, P-O-A-S-T, Post herbicide.
Yep.
Real quick, before we go, again, I'm going to say to everybody, all these super chats tonight are going to be donated to Ray for all the effort and time and energy and dedication he has shown the industry over the years. So if you are in the position to do that, please leave a super chat so we can forward that over to Ray to give a big, warm, fuzzy hug and thank you. And if you would like to contact where Ray and I actually like to hang out, you can hop over to thelawndiscord.com. thelawndiscord.com. You can also contact me at thegrassfactor@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at thegrassfactor. I lurk. I do not comment much over at thelawnforum.com because there's much smarter conversations from people that have a higher brain power than I do over at thelawnforum.com. So I'm not entirely active, but I do lurk from time to time, and I answer direct messages and stuff there. So again, you can hang out with Ray and I at thelawndiscord.com, thegrassfactor@gmail.com, thegrassfactor on Instagram, and thegrassfactor on the Lawn Forum. Ray, sir, thank you.
You're welcome, everybody. Thank you so much.
It was fun, as usual, and hopefully we will be doing this again. All right?
Good night.
Everybody, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support for everybody tonight. Big thank you to Ray for tuning in. And, yeah, join us over at the Discord to keep the party going. Once again,